Hey everybody, I thought I'd do a quick review on a couple of different POC helmets. One I've been riding for about 2.5 years, the other I just picked up, and I'll walk through some of the differences and some of the reasons why I went with a new helmet versus continuing with the one that I had. The two helmets I'm reviewing are the POC Trabec Race and the POC Tectal. So as I mentioned before, I've had this helmet for about 2.5 years. This helmet does have the MIPS protection system, and let's start there because that's really the first thing that I'd like to talk about, because that's the reason why I'm looking or have bought a new helmet. The MIPS protection system, which I'm sure is sound in theory. Fortunately, I've never had to test the theory, but it's designed, there's kind of an internal skeleton here that's supposed to move in the event of a crash before your head or your cranium does in relation to the helmet. So it's supposed to give you a little extra wiggle room so you don't have your brain sloshed around inside your skull super fast. It slows that thing down. But as good as the protection may be, the problem I had with it over the years is, from day one, is it just moves around a lot on your head. Even though you've got this kind of internal structure secured well, it just constantly moves on your head. It kind of rattles and creaks, and this yellow piece feels secure, but the helmet itself kind of moves around, which was annoying to me, to the point at which I decided to buy a helmet without the MIPS. A couple other things that you'll recognize once we go through both differences. This particular ratchet system, although works well, the new Trabec, Tectal, this helmet has a little bit, in my opinion, better design, as well as a better design with the way that these straps are managed. The other thing, mostly opinion-based, but for me, I always felt like the visor was a little too low, or at least the way that this helmet sat on my head, I felt like I had to constantly look up. Now, if it's that big of an issue, you can just pop the visor off. I think the helmet looks better with the visor on, so that's a personal opinion. It also protects you from those low-hanging branches that you don't necessarily see from smacking your face, as well as a little bit of sun protection. So I prefer to ride with the visor, so that was a little annoying, the fact that I felt like I had to lift my head up, and I made multiple adjustments in here to see if I could get the helmet to fit a little bit differently on my head. Other than that, cools really well. It's lightweight. This is the largest one in their lineup in terms of size. It's the it's XL, XXL. It's supposed to fit up to 59 centimeters and above. Interestingly, I actually went a size down with this one, which I'll talk about in a minute. But because of the size, it does look pretty big on your head. I do have a big head, but it is what it is. Again, mostly opinion-based. So Trabec Race retails for about $230, which is compared to the Tectal, which retails for about $190. So it's a more expensive helmet, and in my opinion, the way that I ride, just the movement was driving me nuts. So I ended up going with the Tectal. So that's the Trabec Race. Some differences. The Tectal. This is, like I said, medium large. It's supposed to fit you from 55 to 58 centimeters. A few key differences that I noticed that I really appreciate. The strap system doesn't look like much, but when you're used to the old way of doing things, something simple comes along like this, and it makes a huge difference. It fits flat to your head. It's really super comfortable, and the thing doesn't move at all. The dial head restraint thing has been done by a lot of other manufacturers, but it's nice to see it on a POC finally. It's a lot easier to operate with one hand. It's super quick, super secure, and super snug. It does have the Rico avalanche rescue system. I don't ride my mountain bike in avalanche conditions, but maybe if you're using this for another snow sport or something like that, that might be beneficial to you. A few other things that I really like are the metal details. You can remove this visor as well. I haven't had to touch this visor. It feels like it's nicely out of the way. It's never been in my way or felt like it's impaired my vision at all. So that's a nice bonus. And because it doesn't have the MIPS, it fits to my head the way that I like it to. It doesn't move around, it doesn't rattle, it doesn't creak, it doesn't do any of that stuff. You put this thing on and it stays put. Big, nice feature compared, at least in my opinion, to these MIPS-based helmets, or in this case, the Trabec Race. The other thing too that I also like is it's just the angular design. I think it's a better looking helmet. Of course, this one is a smaller size, so it's going to look a little bit smaller. It's probably a little bit lighter. I think at the end of the day, size to size, there's not that much of a difference in terms of weight. There certainly doesn't feel that. It doesn't feel that way to my touch. Doesn't feel that way to my head. So other than that, it's been really, really nice to be able to ride in this helmet compared to this one. This one just feels like I think a helmet should feel. Tight, secure, cool, small, and very happy with it. So that's a quick review of the two. Again, Trabec Race, about $230. If you like the MIPS, I'm sure MIPS is probably a real sound deal, but I just cannot stand the way MIPS helmets move around on my head. So I went with the Tectal, which is non-MIPS, and about $190. So you're saving about $40 on the front end for, in my opinion, a better designed helmet, a better engineered helmet, and a better fitting helmet. So hopefully that helps. Happy mountain bike riding.